Happy spring, everybody. Happy April. Welcome to Six Questions with Dan and Michelle. And I know what day it is. Michelle, we're not going to pull any pranks on this. I don't care what day it is. We're not going to pull any pranks on this. But hi, Michelle.
I'll do my best, Dan.
Oh, okay. I'm not speaking for you necessarily.
Hello.
But this is a serious endeavor. People need to be able to trust us when we do this. So,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
this is the April 2026 Six Questions with Dan and Michelle. Welcome, everybody. And we want to introduce you to a guest that we're going to have some fun talking to today. And that is Dave Tier. Dave, welcome to Six Questions with Dan and Michelle.
Well, thank you for having me. And if you won't pull any pranks, I'll do my best to pull some today.
Yeah, I know. It's all like swimming against me here, but Dave is the top man at Sales Coaches Corner, based in Plymouth. And what Dave does is he teaches people who are trying to get the most out of their sales efforts to actually get it. And we've gotten to know him as the piece below this shows. We've gotten to know him through an event that Michelle attended at the Troy Chamber recently. And Dave, it's been great to get to know you just a little bit so far. We're looking forward to all the cool stuff we're going to do together.
That feeling is mutual. Cannot wait to get started.
Yeah, for sure. So it only makes sense that you all get to know him a little bit too. So that's what we're going to do today. And the only way to make that happen is to get the questions started right now. Dave, you teach others to do well in sales. Simple question. Where did you learn it?
Two answers. And
Okay.
I'm going to give props to my mentor because he learned it on the streets too. So I learned it on the street, but I had a wonderful mentor and coach, trainer, salesperson of his own named Jerry Weinberg. Jerry
Okay.
is he's one of the Sandler franchise owners in Michigan, and I
Mhm.
was with Jerry for quite some time, 8 years. That guy taught me everything I know.
Okay.
He taught me
So
how to
when you
make
say
money.
you were with him, were you like working as part of that organization?
Yeah,
Okay.
his company is Jerry Weinberg and Associates, and I was one of the associates. So I learned while doing it from a very successful franchise owner in that organization, and the rest is history, man. We just went at it. I sat in many of his appointments, all
Hmm.
of his training, listened to his phone calls, and really appreciated what the Sandler system offers. It's wonderful material, and he's my guy. Actually, the book I wrote, he's my acknowledgement before my mother. So
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah. Not that you
he
knew
gets
him
major
before your mother,
props.
but yeah. Right. So actually, so since you mentioned the book, what's the title of the book?
I wrote a book in the mission. It's Mission Matters is
Okay.
the book, and there was a it's interesting. They get people into book writing. You get a chapter, and it was 20 different um, matriculations, I guess, 20 different industries, and I was for that year, I was the sales trainer, business owner, and it was really cool. They sat down with me. They had a ghostwriter, sat down with me for 45 minutes. For 45 minutes, he did what we're doing right now. He asked me questions. 45 minutes later, it was over. 2 days later, he sent me an 9 page chapter. It was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Like so
Yeah.
spot on. This was
Yeah, we do
before
we do
AI.
that too. I know.
Yeah, it was awesome. I couldn't believe how talented this person was. You guys are very talented to be able to do that. Not only do you have to ask the right questions, but you have to listen.
Yep.
Then you have to interpret what I'm saying and not make up what you want to say. It was
Mhm.
incredible how accurate it was. I was
Not only
really
that, but
impressed.
write it in a way that sounds like you,
Yes,
which can
yes,
which can be the hardest part, but it's probably the most important part.
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, I love that. It was fun, right? Some people don't like writing a book. I liked it because it was painless.
Yeah. We like it too.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, what is something that you teach now that you used to disagree with?
Oh, really? Interesting. I will give you the most basic of basic answers, but it almost won't count. When I
They
started in
all
this
count.
business, but you'll understand why. Because
Okay.
some people are going to hear this and they're going to say, "Nah, it doesn't work." When I started in this business, voicemail was invented. There was voicemail, but it wasn't every single call.
Hmm.
There were admin assistants, there were direct lines, there were main lines, and there was voicemail. But voicemail was by far the fourth most popular thing used. So I used to teach people, if you get a voicemail to somebody that doesn't know you, don't leave a message. Why would they call you back? I wouldn't call that back. Okay. Well, 30 years later, when voicemail is more popular than admins and assistants, and that's what answers your direct line. I have to teach people how to leave voicemail messages to people that don't know them. And it's the least, I'm going to say it's the least most effective way to generate business. And you'll find many thought leaders that agree with that. But you also find a lot that don't even teach it anymore. Cold outreach by phone. There
Hmm.
are people that will answer that phone. Not as many as there used to be, but that's one thing that I've had to. I broke my own rule. I said, "Well, we have to leave voicemail messages. It's so popular now. If you don't, no one will ever know you reached out." So that's one. That's an easy answer. That's one thing I have to. That's the easy one. So yeah, voicemail messages, and you'll be getting it soon.
Is there
Probably
a
the fourth session.
Okay, is there an art to leaving a voicemail message?
I say yes, and it's interesting you say art. I often say that I put some science to this artful profession of sales.
Hmm.
I put a system to it, right? Because it's very artistic. It's creative. It's it's keep your head on a swivel and know what you're going to do. And in if you're flying off the seat of your pants, you're flying off the seat of your pants because you've done it 100 times, and it's really not flying off the seat of your pants. But when it comes to voicemail, the biggest thing I will say is do not enable people to not call you back. Well, what does that mean, Dave? When you enable somebody to not return your call, you're giving too much information. You're
Mm,
feeding them everything they need to know. So why call back? And
yeah.
it's so popular. People want to, they got somebody to answer. Even though it's voicemail, they get to tell their story. And boy, oh boy, do they ever. So I'm a fan of short, sweet, and get out of that voicemail.
Yeah.
And if it's to somebody that doesn't know you, if you're really making a cold call and they don't know you, you can't give them any information that will cause them to say, "Oh, I don't need that." So you almost have to be mysterious. You
Yeah.
almost have to say, hey, Dan, Dave Tier, 248-514-4282. Give me a quick call. Click. Very direct,
Mm,
no detail. Almost Dan's wondering, who's this Dave Tier guy? And why do I need to call him back? That's a cold voicemail message for me. That's cold. Now, if somebody knows you,
mhm,
different story, but
Sure.
still short. Don't use up too much voicemail. Don't Nobody's gonna listen, right? So
mhm.
it's less words. Same with my emails. Less words as possible. Enable people to do what they want to do, and that's save time and get on with their day. But you can't be long-winded.
Yeah. Great insight.
In all the years you've been doing this, are there certain mistakes that you can almost predict people make before you get to know them?
Yes, and that's a great question, and it could be. the next 8 hours of discussion, quite frankly.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen,
That-
settle it for
and
the
it- no, but
longest
it is.
6 questions
Broad-
with Dan and Michelle in history.
broad as it is, here's the experience. And I've said this for 30 years, and I don't know that I'll ever stop saying it. Most people in sales, given the chance to tell their story, as I said a minute ago, will do that. Most people can't wait to expound and extol the virtues of their product or service. So when I say less is better, my motto is don't dump all of your information on a prospect in hopes of making a sale, because most prospects will take your information and not do anything with it, or buy from their competitor with your idea. So I make a general statement and prepare for this every time. I prepare for every client I have to be more likely to dump and talk and overeducate and chase people for a decision. I prepare for that so that when I find that they're less likely to do that, it's an easier road. But
Okay.
but most everybody relates to it because I paint a picture of what's happening in sales and everybody agrees. Oh yeah, I do that. Why do I do that? I shouldn't do that. Well, you don't know you're doing it, or you do know you're doing it, but it feeds you because it's your product, it's your service.
Mhm.
Dan, it's your company. Somebody says, "Tell me about your company." I promise you're
Sure.
going to tell them about your company. It's your
Sure,
baby.
and there's a natural inclination to say, okay, this is my opportunity to be understood. I want to make the most of it, and that's what it produces.
Smart people in sales, really, really intelligent people, the worst. I'm telling you, because they get that need met, and for years they've been awarded for that knowledge. It's so interesting. You ask somebody a question, if it's Jeopardy, that's one thing. Great question, great answer. Sales, not so great. If you're educating them enough to buy from your competitor with your idea,
Yeah.
that's the rub.
All right, Dave, what does a really good day for you look like outside of work?
Oh my God. I have I sometimes get criticized for this. And this is, some people won't understand the criticism, others will immediately. I I have a very cool wife. We are besties. And I don't even know it, I never knew what that meant, but we are simpatico. Katie and I, here's what we love to do. A Saturday in the summer. It's going to involve 9 holes against another couple that we play almost every Saturday or Sunday, one of the days during the summer. And it's competitive. It's a 2-person scramble. We get together at Rolling Meadows Golf Course, and the Tears take on the Whites, and it is competitive. I want to tell you, I 2 years ago, I let my buddy have it was like a 2.5-foot putt. And I got back to the cart, and my wife looked at me like I barbecued a kitten in front of her. Don't you ever do that again. So we love to wake up. We don't play at 7:30 in the morning like a lot of golfers. We'll get a 1 o'clock tee time. We'll play 9 holes. It's a blast. It's competitive. It's so fun. Then we'll go to dinner. We really enjoy Plymouth, downtown Plymouth.
Oh, Plymouth is great.
Yeah, it is.
We'll pick one of those spots,
Yeah.
and we'll just start telling a bunch of stories of how we missed that putter, and we just have a blast. So that's a fun thing. We're outdoor, fun in the sun. If it's not that, we have a pool in our neighborhood. Love to go down to the pool, hang out, listen to music, people watch, look at the kids, the neighbors. We just have a lot of fun. And a lot of what I do is with Katie. She loves to golf. She loves hockey. She'll go to hockey with me. We're that couple, right?
So how
But
long
now you
have
think
known-
we never
how long
argue.
have you known the Whites for?
The Whites, well, you know how you make friends from your children's sports? The Whites are a volleyball family from probably seventh or eighth grade for my daughter, which
Okay.
would be early 2000s. Two,
How long has how long has the
2004,
competition
5 or 6.
how long has the competition been going on for?
Oh, 4 or 5 years.
Okay. So this is
And you
new.
want to know something crazy? I'm in a golf
Yes,
league with
yes,
this
I
guy.
do.
On Tuesdays, I play in a golf league with Pat, just Pat White. Weekends, we golf. We do the scramble. Tuesdays, now this guy's got a better handicap than me by like 5 or 6, 7 strokes.
Wow.
Okay. On Tuesdays, he might be a 13 and I'm a 19. I'm not a good golfer. But you show up on a weekend, give me a partner, and it's all we beat him.
Well.
And I'm telling you, don't think my wife is the best golfer in the world. She's not the reason. But it's so crazy during the week when it's just me. Weekend, somehow it's really funny. I don't beat him every time,
Yeah,
but a lot.
most times. That's
I just
awesome.
can't bring that game on Tuesday. I just
Yeah.
got to figure out how to do it on Tuesday without my partner, right?
Dave, we never ever do this before one of these interviews, but we did stalk your Facebook a little. And I noticed a very few tiny references to sports on your Facebook. So I want to know, what is your number one sports passion?
Oh, it's hockey by far.
Okay.
Hockey by far.
So
I was
tell
a
me about that.
goalie. I was a goalie. I was a goalie until I was a goalie until my parents pulled me out of hockey because there were 3 other kids that needed attention.
Oh.
And but I love it. As soon as we moved to Plymouth, I got some pads and I started playing drop-in beer league at the rink here
You got that nice
where the
ice arena in
yeah,
Plymouth. Yeah.
right. It took me that long. In 2000 we moved here and I started playing again on Friday mornings and Tuesday mornings. It's a blast.
Maybe that's why your
And
golf game is so bad because you're doing hockey
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
but most hockey players are good at golf, just
That's what
not
they say.
goalies,
Yeah.
right?
So this it's interesting that it's hockey. Interesting to me because, for one thing, like, I've been a sports fan all my life, and I basically have started watching hockey within the past year. Why, I'm not even sure I can explain, but my wife and I have started watching a lot of hockey. But so here's the thing that I've observed about hockey, like, as opposed to every other sport: baseball, football, basketball, or whatever. Okay, I can envision myself plausibly playing any of them. Not necessarily well, but playing them. Hockey, no way. I'm like 3 feet down the ice and I'm on my butt and I don't know how to get up. Like,
Maybe you need to be a goalie.
well, even they have to be able to skate pretty well. I mean, so that's the thing. Like, the one thing about hockey is, like, the ability just to skate well enough to play, let alone handling the puck and all that other stuff. That, it seems to me like it's this totally different skill set that doesn't translate from any other sport, except like
Dan,
figure skating, maybe.
you just did it. You just gave the picture perfect reason that hockey is the coolest sport on ice.
Okay,
Because you're right.
nice.
How in the world can you
Cool.
skate, let alone handle a puck, let
Yeah.
alone pass a puck,
Yeah.
let alone look out so you don't get your butts creamed against the boards,
Mhm.
let alone, I mean, you're right. It's really interesting and so fast. So
It is.
fast.
It
Yeah.
is. I mean, somebody scores, and then like 20 seconds later, somebody scores.
Yeah.
And it's not that it always happens that way, but it can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's
And it did this weekend. The college tournament this weekend. Western got rocked by Denver real early.
Yes, this is hurting me right here to bring that
Yes,
up.
I
Dave.
know. It was so sad. But then
We won last
Michigan
year,
got
but
up. Then Michigan won. But I know. My kids and my wife went to Western too. I know.
we had a good run.
Yes.
All right, Dave, you brought her up already. Now's the big question. What do you love most about your wife, Katie?
All right. This has been the same answer since January 30th, 1991, when we met at the Moose Preserve during the Gulf War. Schwarzkopf was shocking and awing him, and that war was over. That's when we met in 1991.
Okay.
Katie Johnson has been my best audience for 32 years. 34 years, really, 33. She is my best audience. I think I'm funny. I think I'm a comedian. I'm a current event quirky nerd that makes references. She is still my best audience, and I love that. I call it what you want. Say I have a giant need for approval. I'll own that. But boy, oh boy, when you get somebody laughing, it's the coolest thing in the world. That's it right there.
Okay.
And that goes a long, long way, right? And I don't know that a lot of people can say that. Yes, I love her. Of course I love her.
Yeah.
But I like her, and I really like her when she's my best audience. It's really fun. I don't know if you were expecting that answer,
Well,
but it's the truth. I love it. When she laughs at me, I'm on. I got it. I still got it. Right? It's so funny. But she doesn't always. When I know she's upset with me, she doesn't. She's not my best audience. But when she is, oh, it's the best.
In all of the people, Michelle, that you have asked that question to over the years, I don't think anyone has been more unfazed by it than Dave was.
He had it ready.
Yeah.
And I love that answer. No one has ever given that answer
No,
before.
they haven't.
And it's so that's such a good answer. The
When you think about it,
Yeah.
if you dissect all those words, it's kind of a selfish thing, right? She laughs at my jokes, but so we don't look at it like that. We look at it in general, like you're doing, Michelle. That's the coolest thing in the world. You must get along. You must have right. It's really a compliment to her, but if some people might take it, oh, that's selfish. Let them. She's still good.
The
She's gonna see
ability
this.
to laugh, though, that's like it's hard to find that with someone
Mhm.
that you can honestly laugh with. That's not easy to come by, and that's
Not the obligatory, I better laugh so you don't feel bad, but the real one.
yeah.
Every day. And I know how to get her.
Beautiful.
I know, and she knows how to get me.
Mhm.
But it started this morning. It started this morning. It was hilarious. I knew she was going to laugh.
Mhm.
Text. I had her going over text. I love it. It's fun.
I
And that is a good question. I like that question.
Yeah. I wanted to tell you something else. You said you met your wife on January 30th, 1991, and you remember that date? I met my wife on January 30th, 1995. So
Where?
it's where? At work in Grand Rapids. It had nothing to do
Really?
with General Schwarzkopf, but
Yeah. That's funny.
yeah. So we both met our wives on Phil Collins' birthday, but it's neither here nor there.
Was it Phil Collins? Oh, I love that.
He wasn't there. He wasn't there.
You could have told me he was, and I wouldn't have known any better.
You may have.
No,
honestly.
he wasn't. But you're here right now, and that's what's really important because this has been a great Six Questions interview. And thank you so much, Dave,
Yeah.
for being part of it. We've really had a kick getting to know you a little bit better during this past half hour or so. So thanks for being
Thank
with
you.
us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Everybody, thanks for watching. Michelle, thanks for co-hosting as always. And everybody, I know you wait with eager anticipation to come back next month for another edition of Six Questions with Dan and Michelle.